Tell me, what do you think about Freelee the Banana Girl and her recent videos where she's bringing to people's attention important issues like the meat industry, factory farming, animal consumption, deforestation, the harm we're doing to the planet, and the irresponsible behavior of celebrities? I mean, these are all important issues, right? But how do you feel about her approach to it? I mean, personally, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but I find she's being very self-righteous and very zealous and confrontational and antagonistic, to say the least. And some of the solutions that she's coming up with are right down disturbing. That's my opinion. How do you feel about that? Am I wrong on this judgment? I mean, try something interesting here. Get one of her recent videos and just turn the voice up, turn the volume off completely, and just watch her body language. And ask yourself, is this a spirit of love and compassion? I mean, do you feel a true warmth of a caring person? Try it. It's quite revealing. Anyhow, you know, like I said, the issues that she brought up are important. For example, the deforestation of the rainforest. That's something that is close to my heart ever since I visited the Corcovado National Park in the Osa Peninsula of Costa Rica and spent time there. It made me realize how important the ecosystem is, not just for that area, but for the whole world. I mean, the rainforests are the lungs of the planet. And so I contributed to a foundation, the White Hawk Foundation, and their sole purpose is to buy up land that's available before developers come in and buy it, to preserve that area of rainforest. And because once the developers come in and put their hotels and condos up, they block off the oceanfront from the rest of the rainforest, which restricts the movement of a lot of the wildlife there, which is necessary for them. It's a part of they need freedom of movement, and it would just disrupt the whole ecosystem. So that's one, area where real work is being done to protect this delicate system. And, this is the thing, like all the issues that Freelee has brought up, there are people on the front line tackling these issues. There are organizations out there daily trying to deal with them. And her ranting and raving and antagonizing, I don't think is helping these organizations. I don't think it's helping anybody who's actively involved. And other than her ranting and raving, what exactly is she doing? What kind of contribution is she making? Maybe she is. Maybe she is involved with some foundations or some organizations that are actually doing good for the planet. I don't know. But it's kind of like, okay, I'm a vegan, and I don't want veganism to be associated with her style, her approach. It's not doing the cause any good whatsoever. And I ask myself, why is Freelee going in this direction? Now, I know Freelee and Harley have always been edgy. They've made a career out of insulting other people that they don't agree with. And so there's no surprise there, but this seems to be magnified. This is really seen freely in a different light completely. And the only thing I can really, let me just speculate a little bit here, and I might be completely off. If you think I am, let me know. But I think what she has personally suffered recently is a crisis, and I think it goes back to the Kayla Instein's incidents. Basically, Freelee started a fight against Kayla Instein's. She was the first to make an attack, and I don't think she expected Kayla to retaliate in the way she did. And when it came right down to the crunch, Freelee was not willing to see the battle through to the end. And she complied to Kayla's demands. That must have humiliated her. And I think her ego has been bruised as a result of it. And she's never gotten over it. And so this is kind of what now this is my own interpretation. I'm not a psychiatrist or a psychologist. I'm just giving a layman's interpretation of what I feel. What seems to be happening is that she is overreacting and compensating for the fact that she sold out. She sold out. Now, I'm not judging her. When all that took place, I never put any videos up. Everybody else was putting videos up on what was going on and whatever. I avoided the whole thing completely. And I never looked down on her for selling out, simply because, well, I've done it myself. I've sold out on many occasions where I've compromised my values, I've compromised myself to avoid potential suffering or inconvenience. But it's usually, and I would say most everybody has at some point done that. And what it does do, though, is if you're honest with yourself, it brings you the realization how human you really are. That you're not a superhero, you're just a human. And I don't think Freelee came to that realization. I don't think she could accept the fact that she's just a human, that her behavior was typical of what most everybody would have done in her situation, and that was to compromise. And then, for most of us, if we go through a humiliating experience like that, we learn to have more compassion for others. We're more empathetic. It actually makes us a better person because we realize that we're not perfect. But with Freelee, I see a person who has not resolved that issue and is now overreacting. And the more people will disagree with her and challenge her on her direction, the more she continues to harden her heart. And it's unfortunate. Just to see Freelee go in this direction is really unfortunate. And this is why I'm doing this video too, because I've recommended her to my daughter and to her friends, and they've been influenced by her. And because she was encouraging. I do believe she does have a connection with younger people, and she's able to communicate with them and to encourage them not to get on these yo-yo diets and not to calorie restrict, because I see that happening with my daughter's friends. Not so much with my daughter. She's not into that because, well, she's been around me long enough, but her friends are definitely confused about a lot of things when it comes to eating. And I thought, well, Freelee would be a good influence in this respect. But now I regret it because of where she's going with all this. And again, it's not that I don't think these issues that she brought up aren't important and that they don't need to be dealt with. I'm not into what she calls the unicorn love and superficial candy floss feel good kind of thing. Not at all. I'm all for action. I mean, a lot of us are very active. We just don't need to parade it. But whatever you do has to come from a motive of love, compassion and humility. And I'll say that over and over again. Whatever you do it out of love. And yes, even love your enemies, as Jesus once said. It's not enough to just love your neighbors or love your family members. That's easy to do. But love your enemies as well. I'll leave it on that note. Let me know what you think about this. I would really like to hear from you. Take care and God bless.